Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to the Ohio Patriot Education Network YouTube channel. I am, as always, your host, AR, the Ohio Patriot. And for today's episode, we're going to talk about my response to Guns and Gadgets. Jared, there in Massachusetts, his recent video that he was talking about that was about Bad Night for 2A. And we're going to discuss why Mike Dewine actually won re-election yesterday for the Ohio governorship. So basically, for those that don't know, I grew up in this state. I've lived in this state for almost 38 years of my life, pretty much, the entirety of my life at this point. And the thing about Ohio was, Ohio at one point was a bellwether state. We were a swing state, as a lot of people call them. Pretty much how Ohio went. A lot of the presidencies went and stuff like that. A bunch of Democrats keep falsely claiming that we're still a swing state. We are not. We are hard red at this point. We have been for over a decade. When you look at the Ohio General Assembly, we have over 60 Republicans in our state house. We have over 25 Republicans in our state Senate. They pretty much could wipe out the Democrat Party if they wanted to at any given time pretty soon. I've talked about this in a recent video, actually. As of last night, I believe we picked up anywhere from 2 to 4 seats in our General Assembly for our state house, and it would pretty much have them as a 2/3 majority at this point now. So the thing is, with Dewine's win, it wasn't that people wanted Mike Dewine as governor again. I sure as fuck didn't, and it sure as hell did not have to do with constitutional carry. I'll tell you that right now. The reason that most people voted for this man was this: you had Ohio become a crazy inflated state for the past year or so because of Biden's ass clownery there in Washington, D.C. and stuff like that. Nan Whaley, who is the ex-Dayton mayor, is a fucking psychotic lunatic. She loves killing babies in the womb. She hates guns. That is why Dewine won. Because it was literally Mike Dewine versus a woman who wanted to kill our fucking children and then take our guns while doing so. The same woman who gleefully, like a Cheshire cat, grinned from ear to ear between March and May of 2020 when then acting health director Amy Acton said, "Oh, abortion is an essential business in Ohio." And Nan's like, "Fire up the Planned Parenthood clinics in Dayton. We're open for business, everybody." I don't even know how many kids she helped kill during that time, dude, but it was a lot. Like, it had to be in the thousands, honestly. The fact that Nan Whaley still has yet to this day to be tried with mass murder of the unborn at this point, dude, is everything wrong with this country, honestly. And I say that along the board of everything right now, dude. Any of these people that were sitting governors at the time of that whole thing, dude, that were allowing shit to go on, even Dewine himself should probably face his charge for that, honestly, at this point, dude. The thing is, the reason most people voted for him for re-election is, again, it was between those two jackasses. It was the devil you know in Dewine versus Nan Whaley, who's like, "I'm literally running on an anti-life, anti-gun, unconstitutional platform that should disqualify me from the running to begin with. But yet I'm somehow still in this race because there's not a 20th Amendment of the Constitution that would actually disqualify people based on them running on oath-breaking platforms, which they should be disqualified on the spot based on those things, by the way. And I mentioned that many, many times on this channel, and I'll keep mentioning it today. It's this one. But yeah, real reason that Dewine won, honestly, had nothing to do with constitutional carry, which, by the way, he waited 10 fucking days to sign into law, which it was actually more like about 15 days or so, give or take, because of the holidays and weekends and stuff like that. It's just like Dewine didn't win based on the fact that he signed in Stand Your Ground in 2021, which he waited over 22 days to sign because of, again, holidays and weekends and stuff like that. That allowed him to do that stuff, because the way that Ohio's laws work is it's supposed to be 10 days, but it's actually like 10 business days or working days or whatever it is. And so, yeah, you can basically have like multiple Sundays in that, and then it eventually becomes a whole thing. And yeah, he spent like 22 days, and then it was the final day of Stand Your Ground that he could sign it into place before it went into place automatically. And he's like, "Okay, cool, let's sign this into place now." And the same thing with constitutional carry this year was he waited the exact final day of the fucking thing and then was like, "Okay, cool, I'm gonna sign it into place now." Where if he had waited like less than 24 hours after that, it would have just automatically gone through without his signature on it, is what it is. So The guy's not pro-gun. I'm gonna say it like that, dude. Dewine is one of the fakest motherfuckers out there entirely, dude. I believe, truthfully, the main reason that he got reelected, besides Nan Whaley just being an unelectable fucking cunt, and I'm gonna say it like it is, dude, and I don't care what people think at this point, is the fact that DeWine has started bringing back jobs into this state. The fact that the CHIPS Act went through in the last few months, and the fact that Ohio now has an Intel plant where we can make microchips and stuff here in it, and the fact that we're going to be a booming economy pretty soon because of that, as well as I guess there's I think it's like Ford and a couple other different car companies that are doing electric vehicles in our state now is what it is, which I totally disagree with personally because of the fact that EVs are fucking stupid. And when you have what we saw down in Florida with the hurricanes, where the batteries are literally exploding in them, like, why are you putting these death traps on the market, dude? Period. That's just stupid entirely. But yeah, I think the real reason that DeWine won was pretty much it was just the economy. It was just the economy. It was the inflation. It was him, sitting there running on a platform of basically, hey, I'm the current governor. I'm bringing jobs back to the state. You like jobs, right? You want to get paid, right? Kind of thing like that. It had absolutely nothing to do with guns or Second Amendment, dude. If anything, if you want to talk about the people that were really behind the actual constitutional carry getting passed here in Ohio, it's people like myself. I spent over 175 days of my life every day on the phone to my General Assembly, whether it be my own state rep, Reggie Stolfus, whether it be other people like Christina Rogner or Michael Ruley or my idiot state senator, Kirk Shearing, et cetera, all the way down the line. Other state reps out there, Scott Wiggum, Nino Vitale, who's unfortunately out of office at the end of the year here through term limits. I was calling them all, dude, and I kept calling everybody else for that matter. And I'm like, hey, when are you guys going to get this to votes? When are you guys going to get this to committees? When are you guys going to do your job here? And finally they did, And I personally called Shane Wilkin, whose committee it was sitting in for months. And I'm talking about like almost a year when I say months, to where he finally did something with it. And it's like, dude, at some point, it's on the people to do our job. It's on us to basically put these politicians' feet to the fire, man. Put these civil servants' feet to the fire. Our elected officials, our representatives, et cetera, there. It's time for us to do the job that we need to do to get them to do their job, is what it is. And like I said, and I'll actually say that 175 days is a low ball for me because I think it was actually more like almost a year of my life. So it would have been closer to like 365-ish days, give or take. Because when you look at the actual timeline it took to get Ohio to the point where we're at right now, to get constitutional carry, it was like 356 days or something like that, dude. And I was on the ball almost the entire time. I wasn't like calling everybody up like every single day almost the entire time, but yeah, there was definitely like I said, 150, 175 days there that I 100% was on the phone daily to multiple people, dude. Whether it be 5, 10, 15, leaving messages, being like, hey, when are you guys getting this to votes? You're going to be a yes vote on this, right? You're going to do your job, right? Et cetera, kind of thing like that. And yeah, DeWine wanted to sit there and act like he's pro-gun, pro-constitution, anything else like that. Dude, he's not. When you look at what he signed into place for constitutional carry in the state of Ohio, he signed a watered-down version. He could have signed a way better version. Unfortunately, you had the NRA, those fucking douchebags, step in at the very last second, claim that they wanted to be part of it, and then water it down with Terry stops. For those who don't know what Terry stops is, there's a case ruling called Terry v. Ohio. It happened, I believe, back in the 60s or 70s. And it was before my time anyway, on this earth. So Terry v. Ohio, essentially what it is it's essentially like stop and frisk. It was the original stop and frisk, basically. And it's basically like, oh, if you have like some window tint or whatever the case be, they can stop you and try to search you and stuff like that. And it totally infringes upon people's constitutional rights to keep and bear arms in the state, and directly infringes upon their right to be carrying constitutional is what it is. So, because it's all about like commission of a crime kind of crap is what it is, which again, having a literal tinted window that is Standard issue on most cars these days, dude, when it's from the fucking factory. Like, that's just bullshit, dude, entirely. And like I said, I don't think Dewine won based on the fact that he is pro 2A, based on the fact that he is a constitutionalist governor, because he's not. He's the furthest thing from it, honestly. You know, there's a reason why we're under 440 days of tyranny to that jackass, dude. And I mean that legitimately. 442 days is what happened before the General Assembly finally stepped up. You know, after months of me calling state reps and state senators and being like, impeach this motherfucker, did they finally strip him of his emergency powers as governor. Over 450 days is what it finally took for Nan Whaley to be sued as then Dayton mayor before she finally gave up the goat and was like, no, you guys can go back to normal now. And that's what I'm saying, dude. She was more of an extremist than Dewine was when it came to lockdowns, bro. And she was an even crazier candidate is what it was, dude. You can literally go into Twitter right now and scroll back through the last basically 6 weeks of Nan Whaley's Twitter account and stuff like that, dude. Almost every single day leading up to this midterm election, she was posting stuff about like, oh, we need to codify women's right to choose to get an abortion. Oh, we need to ban the guns. She was literally a Bloomberg plant, man. That's why she did not win. Because we fucking hate her. And that's the thing. It's not that we like Dewine. He is literally the lesser of two evils in this case. They're both evil. If any of the 4 people that were writing candidates on the governor's ballot had actually been on the fucking ballot and been able to we would been able to cast our vote for them, I guarantee they would have taken the damn thing, dude. You would have had a shitload of votes go from Dewine to that person and from Whaley to that person. Or those people. And that's one thing that pisses me off when it comes to Jim Renacci. He should have never tried to primary Dewine. He should have run as an independent on the fucking general election ballot. He probably could have taken them both out then and become governor of the state. Not that I think Jim Renacci is any better. I think he's a piece of shit too, honestly, dude. That guy's a fucking scumbag asshole just like they are. That's why I hate career politicians so much, by the way. That's why I can't stand these fucking people, dude. I hate both major parties, honestly. And for those that look back in the history of my, constitutionalism and stuff like that, dude, is why I created the Internet Libertarian Party in 2016. Because I was so disenfranchised with both Democrats and Republicans alike. 2 wings of the same fucking bird. Unfortunately, in the state of Ohio, you can't really be an independent. Every time you go to vote in a fucking primary, it's either Democrat or Republican, Democrat or Republican. Yeah, I'm a default Republican on fucking ballots, dude, because of that. Because they will not recognize me as an actual independent or internet libertarian is what it is. And it's bullshit. And I think it's that way also for every state in this country, dude. It's a bunch of crap where you have a 2-party primary system. No, you should be able to register and run as a third-party candidate or something like that, dude, or even vote as a third-party candidate for that matter either. If you want to do that thing, you should be able to do that thing. It's ridiculous to put us into those systems, dude. So anyway, I apologize to anybody out there for my phone ringing a little bit ago here during this, and yeah, I didn't think it was going to do that, but yeah, people keep calling all the time today is what it is, it seems like. But yeah, I just wanted to basically, this is a video response to Jared from Guns and Gadgets. Like you said, man, you thought Dewine won because of constitutional carry. I'm here to tell you that's not the case at all, bro. He won because of literally the way the inflation is right now in the state, and the fact that he's actually quote unquote creating jobs is what it is. I'd also like to point out, by the way, that Mike Dewine literally ended a whole bunch of people's jobs in this state during lockdowns. He cost people, including a lot of families, generational restaurants and stuff, dude. You had 25 and 30-year restaurants go out of business in the time span of 2 months because of that asshole and the lockdowns and everything else like that. And I get it. People were scared back then, dude. I understand, the fucking media, dude. Like, they really are the problem in this country, honestly, dude. They had me freaking the fuck out for a long time during that. And I knew it was all bullshit, too. That's the sad part. But still, it's like that constant barrage every single day. It's like, no, it's this bad. Oh my God. You walk outside and you're somehow going to get the fucking plague now. Like, Jesus Christ, people. And they have never been held to account for that either, by the way. That's the thing that pisses me off the most, honestly, of all this thing, dude. The fact that media is allowed to not be held accountable for that shit. It's ridiculous. But yeah, I believe that, I personally believe that Dewine only won because of the fact that he was the lesser of the nuts in the fucking race is what it was, dude. They're both insane. Dewine's just a giant leprechaun is what it is, dude. Legitimately. Seriously. If you've never seen Mike Dewine, start looking up videos of Mike Dewine, man. This dude is like 5'1" or 5 foot nothing, man. If he just started saying they're always after me Lucky Charms, I would seriously believe that he's a real life version of the freaking leprechaun from the Lucky Charms commercials at this point, dude. And maybe that's what it is. People think he's an innocent old man is what it is, man. Nah, bro. He's been a career politician since 1976 in this country. 40-plus year career right now in politics, dude. Again, not really what we need, but, Did I really want to vote for the man yesterday? Hell no, I didn't want to vote for him yesterday. But again, it was either vote for him, vote for Nan Whaley, or write somebody in and basically waste a vote is what it would have been. And possibly allow her to get in there is what it is done on the case, dude. And that's kind of why I voted for him is what it was, dude. Because it's like, well, it's either him or her crazy ass is probably going to get in there somehow. So, and there's no chance in hell I'm going to let some woman who is an anti-life, anti-gunner, or man for that matter. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, but she just happened to be a woman is what it was. But yeah, some fucking Democrat who's trying to run on a platform that should disqualify them from running to begin with, ever get into office in our country, or I should not just in our country, in the state, to where they were absolutely restricting my right to keep and bear arms. And they admit that on the campaign trail many, many times, while also being like, okay, we're just going to have abortion on demand pretty much, was her other side of the platform, dude. And it's like, go fuck yourself, Nan. It's also, by the way, why Tim Ryan lost to J.D. Vance quite hard yesterday as well. People just weren't having it, dude. And I'm actually disgusted by the number of people who did vote for Tim Ryan because it was over 1 million people, dude. And we're going to talk about that actually in the next episode of The Grandstand, which will be here in a few minutes, with Oregon's ballot initiative 114. And why it's time for people to start being stripped of voting rights in this country, dude. And I mean that legitimately. When you're voting against people's constitutional rights to keep and bear arms, and you're voting to start having child murder on demand, dude, it's time for you to not be able to vote anymore in this country, period. Because you're a psychotic lunatic that should be in a mental institution someplace is what it is, man. Seriously. And the fact that we have not done that already in this country is exactly why we're in the shit we're in right now, dude. And I believe that truthfully, it's going to get worse and worse. And unfortunately, for those that have watched this channel for any time, dude, and I'll say it like I've said it before on here, I believe we're heading towards balkanization in this country very quickly. And I don't know if it's going to be state splitting into, larger kind of interstate compact kind of things in the next year or two, or if it's going to be something where it would be a full-blown civil war revolution kind of thing, but simultaneously it would also be a balkanization kind of event during that. Either way, it's going to get bad. And I think, honestly, depending on where you're at right now, if you're in a blue state and you give a shit about guns, get the fuck out of blue states and move to red states, dude. Seriously. You have the time now to do it. Ohio would welcome you, dude. We want you here. If you are a fighter for the Second Amendment, if you are a constitutionalist, if you give a crap about the U.S. Constitution at all, and you care about people's rights to keep and bear arms, dude, Now is the time to leave the leftist shithole that you're currently in and come to Ohio or go to Texas or any constitutional carry state in this country right now, dude. Indiana. Hell, maybe go on to Florida and see if you can help flip that to a constitutional carry state now, dude, in 2023. Something, you know. It's time to get on the ball. It's time to start leading the charge at this point, dude, and moving if you have to move. There is no reason at all right now to stay in any of these leftist fucking Democrat run hellholes anymore, dude. You have the ability to choose, and it's time to choose the Constitution over everything else right now, dude. And if that means switching jobs, that means switching career opportunities and stuff like that, dude, so be it. Do that. If you can do it, do it. It's time to start making red states redder. It's time to start letting these fucking blue states fall is what it is, dude. Like, seriously, why give your tax money to these people that are going to infringe upon your constitutional rights every single day, man? It's stupid. It's really stupid. Bring that tax money to a new state. Help invigorate our economy. Get us back to where we should be and help yourself at the same time by being in a more gun-friendly state, by being in a constitutional carry state. And that's all I need to say about the end of the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Like I said, I'll be back in a few minutes here with a new grandstand where we talk about the Oregon Ballot Initiative. Other than that, to Jared from Guns and Gadgets, it's been real, man. You know, I just want to set you straight on the record, man. Dewine did not win because he's Pro 2A. He won simply because of the way the economy is right now and because he's actually doing manufacturing stuff in the state of Ohio. And I guarantee if I were to walk around the state right now and ask 100 voters who they voted for, and if you had 80 of them say Dewine, I'd be like, why'd you vote for Dewine? They'd be like, oh, well, the economy. It's not, oh, well, he signed constitutional carry this year. No, that had nothing to do with it at all, bro. Like I said, the man's never been a fighter for the Second Amendment. In fact, when he was a congressman / senator, he actually voted with Democrats quite a bit of the time to restrict our constitutional rights back in the 90s and stuff. I want to say, actually, Dewine was a congressman during the Sultan's ban, and actually he voted for that, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, that should tell you something right there, man. The fact that the man is endorsed by the NRA should tell you everything you need to know about how pro 2A Dewine really is, honestly, dude. Which is, he's not. Is what it is. You know, seriously. I'll tell you right now, if I ever personally run for office and the NRA tries to back me, I'm going to tell them to go fuck themselves, dude. I'm going to be like, nope, don't need your stupid ass endorsement, dude. And then I'll be like, where's GOA? Where's FPC? Where's all my other federal orgs at that are actually decent? So, but yeah, seriously though, it's time to just make our country back to what it needs to be, man. And it's make it a constitutional republic again, like it always should have been since our founding fathers' day. And it's as simple as that. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see y'all on the next one.